there, I'm Dr. Jane Pegg, pediatrician, and thank you for watching this brief video about Roots to Read, NRGH Newborn Literacy Program. This video is part of a quality improvement project to ensure that everyone involved in the care of newborns is aware of the program, which I imagine a fair number of you already are, but more importantly, that our messaging to families about the program is consistent. I am one of the co-founders of the program, and for your information, the program is 100% run by volunteers and funded by donations. To date, since the launch in 2022, we've given out over 4,000 book bags. If you interact with families with newborns, you are an important member of our Roots to Read team, and I hope by the end of this video, which is a short video, don't worry, that you feel empowered, inspired, and confident to support our infants have a healthy literacy start. So what inspired our team to launch Roots to Read in the first place? It initially started as a conversation across the table with one of my primary care colleagues, Dr. Eamon, and our impression that literacy rates were declining. We now know with certainty that they are, and when we started to delve into this and look at our Nanaimo local statistics, they were concerning. The Early Years Developmental Instrument is a tool that's used across BC, and children entering kindergarten every 3 years are assessed on a number of different skills. This slide shows the results of vulnerability, what they call vulnerability, on the cognitive and language scales. And cognition and language are the foundations for literacy. So this shows that currently 25%, or 1 in 4 children starting kindergarten in some areas of Nanaimo, do not have the building blocks in place to learn how to read. So they are definitely at risk of poor literacy. Canada-wide, we see 27% of children start grade 1 without the early developmental skills they need to be able to learn to read. And that translates into a high proportion of adults with low literacy, 17%. And this is a health concern because low literacy is correlated with poor health outcomes, both mental and physical health. And it's also strongly correlated with other life trajectories, social, economic, and health outcomes, more so than occupation or income. As care providers who do work with infants, I'm sure you're aware regarding the importance of early developmental stimulation. The timing of our intervention is so important, as the first 2 years of life, and of course the prenatal period as well. It is the most rapid period of brain growth, both in size and complexity, especially those first 12 months. Development of neuronal pathways occurs during this time, and pathways that are not stimulated actually undergo pruning with less neuronal connections and complexity. This can lead to a permanent loss of the ability to reach potential. So by distribution of the book bag at birth, we don't miss any families, and parents hear from healthcare providers the important message we are giving. As healthcare providers, through the distribution of the Roots to Read book bag and our advice when we interact with these families, we have a meaningful opportunity to strengthen parents' knowledge of the importance that they play in supporting their infant's brain development with very simple actions. Read, speak, and sing. The program is not just about providing new books. The message that goes with it is crucial, and caregivers and parents really listen to advice from healthcare providers. So what you communicate is very important. So yes, studies show that when we say something, our advice is listened to, is followed 2.5 times more apparently. Not sure how they evaluated that, but what you say really matters. During this early phase of emergent literacy, infants develop listening, speaking, emotional, and social connection, which becomes the basis for conventional literacy reading and writing. Talking, singing, sign language, storytelling, playing silly games provide a language-rich environment and those crucial serve and return interactions between a loving caregiver and their infant. Books encourage additional skills. Babies will chew on them, they'll learn to turn the pages, they hold them, they start to associate visual images with words and sounds, and book sharing promotes infant caregiver bonding and has been shown to improve maternal mental health. Win-win. Parents may ask you about screen time. Make sure you give them the up-to-date advice. Inform parents that screen time has been shown to have negative impacts on infant development, particularly language, social, and emotional development, and it is not recommended by the Canadian Pediatric Society in the first 2 years of life. Many of you, hopefully many of you have opened the book bag to check to see what's inside of it, but of course we start with 2 brand new books, usually board books, and we've carefully selected these so that they can be read, but also explored in other ways, such as by talking about the pictures, playing with sounds, finding and describing images, and adding actions and silly noises. We also try to ensure that we represent diversity in our book choices. There's also a Canadian Children's Literacy Foundation booklet with rhymes, games, and tips for parents to use with infants or older siblings. And of course, a library application form to remind parents of this amazing local resource of endless free books and programs for their children right from infancy. So what are we asking of you, those that have the opportunity and the privilege to interact and provide advice to families with newborns? Firstly, double check that the book bag was delivered and that families understand that is theirs to keep and take home. Encourage them to open the bag, take out the contents, and use the books, even starting in hospital. Secondly, encourage and compliment families when you notice parent-infant language and connection, reminding them how this helps to develop their infant's brain. If you see someone with the books out and talking to their infant, reading to their infant, let them know that that's excellent. They're starting so young that this is going to help develop their brains, language and cognitive and brain development, and encourage them to make this part of a regular routine. Remember that your advice really has impact. And lastly, when you go into the room, you might have something to support the mother, parent with, the caregiver with, or you're checking on the infant, like checking the temperature or listening to the heart. Model what we want parents to do. So if you are listening to the heart and you hear the heart speed up and the baby's open, you can, baby's eyes are open, you can say, oh, look at you, I've woken you up. Is my stethoscope cold? Oh no, I'm sorry about that. Your heart rate's going so fast. Oh, it's starting to slow down now. That's great. And then you can, and then you are modeling for the parents just how simple interactions can surround their baby with words and promote language development. Consider spending a bit of extra time with our most vulnerable families. So those are families that are living in poverty and do not necessarily have the same supports or access to supports as other families. Newcomers to Canada where English is not their first language and they can be intimidated by English language books. Indigenous children who we know are vulnerable, and children with parents that have struggled with literacy, because again they can get intimidated by by giving a book that they may not be able to read. But reassure them that reading is not necessary. They can just talk and tell stories and sing, and that does the same thing. It surrounds their baby with words, with loving messaging and loving communication, and that will develop baby's brain. here are summer programs over the years, over 4,000 book bags ago, and it really does take a village to keep this program going, and consistent and repetitive messaging from healthcare providers is important for the program to have impact. You can find more information about this program on the Nanaimo Hospital Foundation Roots to Read page. You can reach it by scanning this QR code or going to the link. And we also have social media sites, not run by me, run by somebody much younger. And please like our pages if you're on social media, and share them with others to help spread the word. We really need a village to keep the program going, and the more the merrier. And lastly, here are some excellent resources from the Canadian Pediatric Society and the Canadian Children's Literacy Foundation to expand your understanding of literacy in the context of healthcare and your role in promoting literacy in the early years. I'll give you 5 seconds. Just screenshot that if you want to. And actually, I said lastly, but this is actually the last official slide. Again, an excellent video for families, for you. Very brief, 2.5 minutes. It just reinforces in a really engaging way surrounding baby with words and how important that is to develop their language. All right, so you can either exit the video here, or if you're feeling like a little bit of fun, I'll take you to the last slide, which includes another short video, really nothing to do with literacy, but just for fun. And here this is our Jerusalem video from 2021, and it just demonstrates how wonderful a perinatal and pediatric team we have for our newborns at the hospital, and how and this will make you feel happy. So I know that dancing, singing, interacting with each other is such a good thing for our brains, and we have such a good team together. We can really, I hope, with this program, make a big impact for our newborns. Okay, well, thank you for your attention, and I hope you feel confident and inspired to spread this message in your interactions with our newborns any way that works. Feel free to get silly. Babies really love that. Okay, take care.